This is Kenyon with Little Giant Ladder Systems, and today we're going to demo the 𝗥𝗽𝗴𝗵𝘁. The 𝗥𝗽𝗴𝗵 is a multi-purpose ladder made out of non-conductive fiberglass. So safe to be used around electrical applications, those of you that are electricians, plumbers, HVAC, even homeowners that need a professional style ladder. There are only two things that make this ladder operate. The hinge creates the shape of the ladder, turning it from the stored position into an A-frame, and from the A-frame into an extension ladder. Fairly easy to do. Make sure that you're gripping that hinge, squeezing it in with the palm of your hand or with your fingers. Either way, just make sure that both hinges are fully locked when using a ladder. The only other thing to remember about the 𝗥𝗽𝗴𝗵𝘁 are the rapid locks. The rapid locks are easy to use. Twisting those disengages the metal pin on the inside. And once we do that on the right side and the left side, now we let gravity do some of the work. Leaning the 𝗥𝗽𝗴𝗵𝘁 to one side allows this outer section to grow in 1 foot increments. So if we wanted to stop here, that would then be a 5-foot step ladder. Continue to let that go until that last locking position, and then come over to this side. Putting your shoulders square to the hinges will put you in a great position so that you can unlock the rapid locks on this side, and then putting your hands on the side rail, hand over hand, bringing that into an even position, or we'll show you in a second that you can also offset these sides. But we want to point out that before you climb is that there is going to be some tolerance in these locking positions. So between the inner section, the outer section, in that rapid lock, and also in the hinge. In order for the locks to operate, there needs to be tolerance. To overcome that tolerance, just get into the habit of taking the side that's towards you, pulling that nice and tight. That will remove the tolerance. You'll also notice that there is no spreader bar or brace in the middle like traditional A-frames. This is going to be an advantage for those that need to put ladders over a fence. Maybe you need to get around a tricky setup like a rose bush or hedges. This is going to allow you to do that because the hinge does that locking. The 𝗥𝗽𝗴𝗵𝘁 does not need spreader bars. The 𝗥𝗽𝗴𝗵𝘁 is also double-sided. This meets an ANSI rating of 300 pounds. And that's on each side at the same time. Because the 𝗥𝗽𝗴𝗵𝘁 is double-sided, it carries the weight rating of 300 pounds on each side at the same time. So for some jobs that 4 hands would be better than 2, you can put 2 operators on this ladder. And a couple of safety tips when you're climbing the ladder: make sure that you're maintaining 3 points of contact. That's 1 hand and 2 feet, or 2 hands and 1 foot as you're climbing both up and down. Keep your balance forward and take your time. This is a piece of safety equipment. Once you've accomplished the work that you've come up the ladder to do, take special precaution to be aware of where the bottom rung is. As you're stepping down, maintain 3 points of contact. Environmental awareness so that you make contact with every rung, especially the bottom rung, on the way down. Now we can offset the sides of the 𝗥𝗽𝗴𝗵𝘁. Depending on your setup and how and where you're using ladders, you might want to use this in a 90-degree position. This would be great for certain trades that need to climb up this side and then be square or near the work. If you're an electrician, HVAC, mechanical contractors, or even those of you painting in your own home, this is a great way to get near that work without necessarily leaning the ladder against the work. We call that the 90-degree position. If we were on unlevel ground, we would unlock the rapid lock, bringing this down to one of these rungs, a porch, a staircase, making sure that those rapid locks are fully seated and locked into place. And now we can use the 𝗥𝗽𝗴𝗵𝘁 in a variety of situations, whether it's a staircase, porches, decks. So really it's a combination of 1 foot increments on this side versus the 1 foot increments on this side. So a lot of combinations for the 𝗥𝗽𝗴𝗵𝘁 to be in. Always make sure that rapid locks are completely locked into place. To utilize the dark horse in the extension ladder position, now we'll just change the application of the hinge. If you ever feel like this hinge is tight, it's because that tolerance is keeping that hinge nice and tight. So just shift the weight an inch or two, or even just a fraction of an inch to the inside or outside, and that will make that hinge a little bit easier for you to squeeze in. And like any metal moving part on any tool, keep those cleaned and lubricated on a regular basis. Now we'll take the dark horse and lay it on the ground or the floor, making sure that the hinge is locked. And now we can telescope these sections or these outer legs to be the length or the height that we need. Unlocking the rapid locks, now we can skip either a rung or two, or more depending on the height that's required. Come over and do the same thing on the opposite side. Unlocking the rapid locks and telescoping this. I'm demonstrating the Model 17. Of course, the dark horse comes in other sizes as well. Make sure that you rotate those rapid locks, fully seated, locked into place. Take advantage of the wall or the footing of the wall that you're going to lean the ladder against. You'll place the dark horse like I have here on the studio at the bottom of, and using those feet, you can rotate the ladder towards you and place those feet securely up against that footing. Then hand over hand, bring the dark horse to its full upright position, and to achieve the 4-to-1 ratio, pulling it out towards you. When using the dark horse or any ladder in the extension ladder position, make sure that you always achieve that 4-to-1 ratio. For every 4 feet the ladder's going up, the bottom of the ladder should be 1 foot away from the surface that we've leaned the ladder against. This also equals a 75-degree angle. And a really easy way to calibrate 75 degrees is called the firefighter's rule. Put the toes of your boots at the bottom of a ladder, and then at your own shoulder height, you should be able to cover the rung or hold onto the side rail. It's a good indication that your ladder's set up close, or if not right at that 75-degree angle. Another important precaution when using the dark horse in the extension ladder position, always make sure that the wheels are set at the top, not at the bottom, but in the extension ladder position, the wheels need to be at the top. And you'll also appreciate that the dark horse has a wide flare at both the top and at the bottom, giving you a much wider footprint, giving you that extra stability that we just don't find on traditional extension ladders that are merely parallel. The skid-resistant feet that are part of the dark horse are also field replaceable, making that investment last even longer. As with any piece of equipment, we want you to be familiar with the operation or the instructions of how the dark horse works. Make sure that you're familiar with the locking mechanisms, including the hinge lock and the rapid lock. That's what's holding the ladder in this safe position, again rated for 300-pound capacity, but do not take the rapid locks and unlock them when it's in an elevated state, because this will come down pretty quickly. That's why we've shown you how to adjust the ladder when it's on the ground or the floor. I'll show you how I take it down. Reverse the process of what we've accomplished by bringing the ladder into a vertical position against the wall that we've leaned the ladder against, footing the base against the wall or the foundation, then hand over hand, bringing this down to the floor or the ground. Now we can unlock the rapid locks and telescope the legs to their desired height or to the storage position, and do the same thing on the opposite side. Now we're ready to unlock the hinge lock. By squeezing these in, it will release the hinge, And now we can bring the ladder up into its A-frame or again into its stored position. One of the benefits of the 𝗥𝗚 being in such a compact position is that means there's less to carry. Fewer strain and sprain injuries. Remember, extension ladders are usually longer or taller than we are, which leads to strain and sprain, where having a 𝗥𝗚 in a stored position, you can simply lift it on your shoulder and let your hand rest on that rung below so that it can safely go through a gate, through a doorway, or even better than carrying it, you could take advantage of the wheels that are on board. Tilting the ladder down, the wheels will engage, and now it can be rolled through surfaces easily. And a few quick reminders: choose the right ladder for the job, set it up correctly, and maintain 3 points of contact when you're climbing up and down any ladder. This is the 𝗥𝗚 by Little Giant Ladder Systems.